Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. We made it to the middle of the week. So, before we get started with today's tasks, I want to go back to yesterday's assignment. First of all, we did a fantastic job on this assignment for the most part. Make sure at some point today you go back and look at your assignment and see if you had anything wrong or things that you need to fix. But there's a couple questions I want to draw attention to, and those are the challenge questions at the end of the assignment. And the majority of people, most people got these questions wrong. If you got them right, congratulations, but most got them wrong. So please pay attention for a moment. For number 10, it says sometimes in the morning. Now, this can also happen at night as well, but it's typical in the morning. The grass is wet and the leaves on plants are wet. The warm air hits the cold grass and leaves, causing this to happen. What is this process called? So let's think of it this way. The leaves and the grass are wet. Okay, what made them wet? Well, we have to think that the air around is warmer than the leaves or the grass itself. So what happens is that warm air hits the leaves and the grass. And when that warm air hits the colder leaves and grass, it goes from a gas, because air is a gas, back to a liquid. So gas to liquid, and that liquid collects on the leaves and on the grass. That process is called condensation. So for this first part here, the answer would be, and I'm highlighting it in green, condensation. So the warm air hits the cold leaves and grass and turns into a liquid, and that's called condensation. Another common example is in the summertime, or when it's hot outside usually, and I'm bringing this picture up on my screen. This is a picture of, on a hot summer day, you've probably had a cold drink outside, and this is also condensation on the glass, and you've probably experienced this before. Basically, the drink is really cold, much colder than the air is around it on a hot summer day. So that warm air hits the cold glass and turns back into liquid, and that is condensation again. Maybe you've also experienced this in the car. If you have the air conditioning going in the car on a hot summer day and you get in, your body, which is giving off heat, that heat, which is in a gas form, might touch the windshield or parts of the car that are nice and cold because of that air conditioning. And on the windshield and stuff, condensation can also form. Now, the second part of the challenge is the opposite. Now, after the sun comes out in the morning and stays out for a little while, the earth heats up. So then the plants and the grass become dry. And what is this process called? Well, if it was liquid before and wet, and then all of a sudden it becomes dry, well, where did that liquid go? Well, the heat from the sun basically turned it back into a gas again, and that is called evaporation. So the second part is evaporation, the opposite of condensation. Okay, so again, condensation is when a gas turns back into a liquid, and that's also why clouds are formed, because that evaporation rises up into the atmosphere, gets colder, and those water droplets collect as clouds. And evaporation is when a liquid turns into a gas. Now, for today's work, on Google Classroom, there's going to be two water cycle songs that you need to listen to. One is actually a song and one is a rap. So you need to listen to the whole thing. I hope you enjoy them. There's also going to be a water cycle game. And yes, you have to play the game. Let's be a little competitive with this. Let's have some fun. Let's see how fast you can conquer the game. So you can play it as many times as you want. You're going to see there's two parts to it, and they're going to give you a time at the end of how fast you finished. Remember that time. You might want to write it down somewhere. So the two YouTube videos, the water cycle game, and then your accountability for today is going to be filling out a Google form. You're going to need the time for your game. So remember that time. You're going to need also, you're going to learn some new vocabulary today about the water cycle. And we're not going to give you the meanings of these words. So use the hints, maybe do a little Google searching to figure out the new vocabulary for today, but it's all about the water cycle. And make sure you fill in and submit that Google form for your accountability. Okay? So good luck with everything today. Remember, that water cycle just keeps going and going. It's a cycle. Things are changing, different places, different forms, but we still have the same amount of water on this planet that we did back in the beginning of the planet billions of years ago. All right. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.